Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Providence, graduate assistant,
I'm Alexander Garces, entrepreneur intern.
and thank you for tuning into this special edition of the Ionavation Podcast. Today we have Rashan Brown, CEO, founder, the boss man of Poetry Me Please, a global poet platform that sponsors poets from all around the world and gives them kind of a platform to express their ideas.
After finishing your e-talk, how are you feeling?
I was great. I felt good. Uh, Packed house. So I'm hoping it resonated. I know it's early, so I saw some yawns, but it feels good to be back in like that classroom setting, honestly.
Yes, fair. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to jump right into the questions. So the first one I have for you, Rashan, is what you've done for the community of poets and even the African American community in general is nothing short of spectacular. So through this platform, you've kind of given people a safe space to express their ideas, regardless of how much experience they have writing poems, I should say. So, what was the most significant moment in your life that made you realize that this was your calling?
Uh, that's a solid one. I think realizing this was my calling was I did a spoken word at an open mic in the city a year or two after I graduated college, and I performed a piece titled "I Am Black." And "I Am Black" was honestly one of my favorite poems. It was a poem that I speak about my identities, and I remember performing that piece, and I was like, "Damn, that felt good." I was like, "That felt good." I had my friends. I gave them like parts of the poem to say when I said certain things, so it was like a call and response naturally. So like they're in the crowd and like I say something and then somebody responds and then everybody in the crowd's like, "Oh, what's going on?" But at the end of it, I was like, "Yo, that felt good." I was like, that feeling that I had when I performed, I was like, "Yo, I gotta tap into this." I was like, I don't know what it looks like, but I need more of it. And then I think that was like 2019, and end of 2019, and a few months later, I was like, I'm doing my own show. And then, March 2020 got postponed to June 2021. But when I performed in 2019, I was like, yo, I want to do more of this. And then it honestly built. So like after my first showcase, I'm like, yeah, I can do this on a grand scheme. So let me just put in the effort to get there.
Good answer. Good
Yeah.
answer.
For our second question is, when you're coming up with the brand identity of Poetry Me Please, how did you come up with that? Did you look internally and say, "Oh, I really like poetry. I really like performing. I like supporting our the community," and that is that how you formed the brand identity of Poetry Me Please? And how does that differ from your own personal brand identity?
Another solid question. So when I was getting my master's in school, this is when I was teaching. Towards the tail end of it, I was like, yo, I want my master's. I was like, please, like just let's just hurry this up. So I would use the phrase like masters me please. So I remember like going to class and then going home and like I'd post a picture on Instagram like just left class like master me please. And I kept saying it was like a hashtag that I kept using. And then I remember thinking about poetry and I was like, I just want poetry. Like I feel like people just want poetry. Like that's all that they want. So it was like poetry me. Like give me poetry, please. And that's like the birth of Poetry Me Please. Is at the core root of it, just give me that. And then when you think about like the brand identity of poetry, it is my brand. It is me. So as a founder, as somebody that took an idea, became a product, now this poetry platform, the way that we open the show, we always open our show with a black woman because for me, one of the most important, like when I look at my sister and my mother, like the two closest women that I have to me, black women, and the people that I've interacted with, like looking at them as like the foundation. So every showcase that we've had, we're up to like our 37th showcase has always started with a black woman. So that's me. And then looking at, with Poetry Me Please, you look at the logo and it's all lowercase. That's because like I want it to be. And I just think it looks better. And that's important, right? So all of these small facets of how an organization is run from start to finish is my brand. The DJ, the host, the environment, the like battle rep, environment that we curate is all because I like that. And I can map things out and say, I want it to be this way, this way, this way, this way. Why? Because I like it that way. So the brand is me, and I've been able to obviously expand on it and think about the audience, and start to write down business objectives and then how do we get there. But essentially, it's the brand and me like intertwined, especially because I am a poet.
Yeah,
Thank-
to build off that, I remember during your e-talk, you talked about how you found basketball as an outlet to really express yourself because as an African American, you didn't really feel like you had that stage.
Yeah.
But you talked about entrepreneurship, product building, task management, networking, and all that. But I was more interested in your personal
Okay.
your personal story. So my question to you is, everyone has that inspiration in their life, just as you've given countless poets the means to, achieve and recognize their dreams. So my question to you is, what was that figure in your life that really inspired you the most?
Personally, or just I mean,
Personally.
personally like inspired me.
Yeah.
Honestly, my sister.
Okay.
Yeah, my older sister. Shout out to Kimo. She is someone that I've always looked up to. Like I used to be really quiet as a kid, and then in college we ended up going to the same college. And my first 2 years, she stayed in the area, so she was living in the area at the time, and we got really close during those like 2 years, and then now like honestly my best friend. And I've always looked at her as someone that has always had her stuff together. And even when she didn't, like, she was still like this beacon of hope to me. And she's someone that I can say, like, yo, why are you doing this? Oh, my sister thinks it's cool. Or like, I want to make my sister proud. And that's all I needed. Like, when she comes to a show, I'm like, all right, cool, we can start. Like, like when she's around, she gives me that level of passion. And she reminds me that, you know, what pouring into somebody can look like. And I think that she's done a phenomenal job of like legit pouring into me. And now I'm a product of her love. And living that every day has been fulfilling. So when you think about like why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, or like, that next level, it's like I cannot wait to tell her what, where we're going, or like, what next gig I have, or like in a poem. And I remember one thing, I would always share my poems to her, and then there was one time where she was like, yo, like, this poem is great. Like, I can hear you. It sounds like you're articulating now. And I was like, damn, so you was listening? But it was a critical piece of feedback, because I'm such a critical person of myself.
Yeah.
And, people be like, oh, no, you did great. And I'd be like, that's not what I asked you. Like, I asked you, what did I do wrong? What did I mess up? Because I need to know those things. I want to make myself better. And she was like, I can hear you now. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that people couldn't hear me, or I didn't know that I wasn't articulating. So I know that when she's watching it, she's not watching it as she's watching it as, this is my younger brother and I want him to be better. So that really, that resonates with me for sure.
Unfortunately, this is all the time we have today. So, but before you go, what piece of advice or what piece of advice would you give to students like me, or graduation assistants, or just the general public?
Man, I always go back and forth like, do I go here? Do I go there? I'll be like real. I think people should be a little bit more critical. And I know it's like stemming off of that conversation we just had. I'm like, there's times when you should have fun and, be inspirational, be passionate, and all those things. But I feel like really buckling down and asking yourself, what is it that you want? And you don't necessarily have to have everything figured out, but you do have to hold yourself accountable.
Like finding your why.
Finding your why. It's so important. I think people oftentimes are like, oh, I think I want to do this. I think I want to do this. And they lose that, or they don't even define it first. So it's like, why are you doing this? So you can remember when things get hard, because that'll happen. It's like trying to find money, you're trying to find the time, you're trying to find creativity, and you keep running and you're gonna run out. And in the moments when I'm like, damn, I'm tired, I'm like, well, I know what that end goal looks like, or I know why I'm doing this. And that gives me the recharge, that refuel. So it's being honest with yourself, but also like being very serious and asking yourself, why are you doing this? Because if you find that it's for a reason that you're not passionate about, you don't care about, it's like, of course it's not gonna be successful. Like, you don't really care about it. So that's a big piece that I would give to people.
Thank you for your words. of
Yeah,
wisdom.
yeah. Appreciate it. This is dope. Thank you, man.
Yeah, very wise words coming from Rashan Brown. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
I really, well, everyone
Yeah,
really
we all
enjoyed
appreciate
listening to your poetry and the inspiring words that you had for our community of entrepreneurs and the next generation alike. This has been the special edition of the Ionavation Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Follow us on all of our socials at Heinz Institutes. See you.